Peace, everybody. We're back for the second lecture. It's going to be entitled, the last one was wonderful, it was on fire, and I loved it. Yes. This one is going to be called An Overview of the Historical Origins of Christianity, and with that I give you back Dr. Walter Williams.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm back now, and we had a little break, and I hope everybody got refreshed, and now we're going to settle in on our second lecture. I want to give some thanks to people like Brother Shabazz and his wife, Jamila, again for bringing me to New York. And I also want to give thanks for my wife, Arnetta, for preparing me to come here and be my companion while I'm here. But one of the main things is that I can't stay.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you very much. But while I'm here in New York, I can't stay. My wife and I, we can't stay in the streets, right?
That's right.
So therefore, we have two gracious hosts and hostesses in the name of Lady Brown and Senator Brown. So we have to point out the kindness of the Browns for having us as guests in their home. Okay, so I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I want to give a short overview. I didn't intend to talk as long as I did on the first lecture, but you know how you get carried away and you get caught up and you just continue, you know, and then I'm long-winded anyway. Okay? So I'm going to give you a short overview on Christianity. The next time that I'm invited back to New York by Brother Shabazz,
That's right.
and his wife, Jamila, I'm going to be prepared to give a lecture, a full lecture on the historical origin of Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. Okay? Well, I'm going to start off doing that. I'm not going to put that last, then start a lecture and then be tired. You know. So anyway, I want to, you know, give you an overview on Christianity because our people, our African people, are hung up and caught up in these various religions, as we mentioned before in the first lecture. So I want to bring out historical facts about these various religions. And the very first religion is Christianity. Okay? That's our very first religion that was created by man. And the people who created the religion called Christianity, and the people who created this image, this is a created creature, never existed. Okay? But this is a created creature called Jesus the Christ, created in Egypt, in Africa, by our Melkite Coptic Egyptians. Those were the Uncle Toms of antiquity. Okay? They were the Colin Powells. They were the Condorcet's. They were the Clarence Uncle Tom S. Okay? So they're the ones that created this image. But this image in Christianity was created for the Europeans. It wasn't created for us. So it's very important to know that. Another thing I want to bring out, the importance of the polemic. The word polemic means argument. This argument over the human nature of this created creature, known to us today as Jesus the Christ. This argument went on for 921 years, whether this thing here that we call Jesus the Christ had a human nature or not. 921 years. But see, no one is telling you that. But I wrote this book for one race of people, African people, living in America and throughout the world. This is a message in here for you. Okay? And I wrote it not to sell to the world. I wrote this book for you, information for our African community. Okay? And I don't make a living selling books. I don't make a living writing books. That's not how I make my living. Okay? I don't make a living giving lectures. I used to have an ancient Egyptian museum for 11 years in Chicago. I sold the building and put the artifacts into storage in the year 2001. Okay, so we're going to do something else with the ancient Egyptian artifacts that I have. It's going into another museum to resurrect the ancient Egyptians. Okay, so I'm serious and sincere. Okay, I will tell you the truth and bring the facts with the truth. People ask me, saying, what is the truth? Truth is very wide. I mean, it can be interpreted by people in general. But in the first lecture, I gave you the truth. You know what the truth is? You are the truth. Every human being on earth is the truth. You walk around with the truth inside of you. That's your spirituality. So therefore, you can't deny that. There's no argument over that. So in my writings and research, I try to look for the truth. I always go and look for the origin of a subject. Like I told one young man this evening, go and find the origin of that subject. And when you do that, you will be laying a foundation of understanding about that subject, what you're talking about, whatever the subject may be. If you don't know the origin of it, then you don't know the subject. And you have to know dates. Dates are very important, like I teach my students. If you want to be a scholar, a historian, you have to know dates. Very simple. If you don't know dates, you're no historian. Then you're just talking barbershop talk, pool room talk. You're talking outside of your neck. See? Because if you tell me so-and-so, so-and-so, I say, okay, what date was that? You say, well, I don't know. Then you don't know the subject. Okay? Come and tell, well, the documents, they found documents that say so-and-so. Okay, what alphabet was the document written in? I don't know. Then how can you bring this to me? Know something. So in this book, in each book, I put, as I end my writings, I always bring you facts, which are stronger than argument. This is what was told to me many years ago about facts. I was told that facts is stronger than argument, more dependable than opinions, more profound than reasoning, silences dispute, supersedes predictions and facts, always in the argument. When you bring facts, that's it, it's over. See, it's no more arguing over the facts. See, then you don't understand the facts. See, so today, this evening, I'm going to bring you some facts concerning Christianity and this image that we know today as Jesus Christ. Now, I've been studying for over 30 years now. And when I first began to study, let me back up a little bit. See, I used to be a professional jazz musician. I used to play the saxophone. You know, Charlie Parker and Sonny Stitt, those are my guys. You know, I used to play bebop. You know, one of the bebop, I had my little tam on, you know, had my axe, you know, going to the gig, you know. Hey, that was the time. But anyway, I met a musician, which was old enough to be my father at the time, right out of high school, by the name of Sun Ra. Sun Ra used to live in New York. But I didn't play that outer space music. We played contemporary jazz, all the things you are. There's this thing called Stardust, Embraceable Youth, songs like that. So we used to go up on the 4th floor. He had an apartment up there on the 4th floor in the building in Chicago. So all the young cats, I was right out of high school. All the young cats used to go up there and listen to Sun Ra philosophize from early, in the evening to early in the morning. You know, I was in trouble many mornings coming home to my mother. Boy, where you been? I've been worried about you. Bam! You know. But anyway, what he told us, Sun Ra said that we were descendants of the greatest people that has ever lived on planet Earth, known to us today in history as ancient Egyptians. Now, out of high school, you know, the school system don't teach us that. They teach us away from ancient Egypt. They teach you, when I went to school, they gave me a book called Little Black Sambo. You know about that too, don't you? Okay. Now this is what I was supposed to be, Little Black Sambo. Therefore, all you young people who don't know anything about Black Sambo, such as Jamila, and a few others in here. But anyway, Little Black Sambo was a little African boy who took the tiger by the tail and went around a tree, round and around and around, till both turned to butter. But they gave Little Black Sambo to the white children too, the white kids. That was to make them feel superior over us. And Little Black Sambo was supposed to make us inferior. But see, Little Black Sambo has fooled them. Little Black Sambo found out that I was a descendant of the greatest people that has ever walked this earth, known to us today in history as the ancient Egyptians. Isn't that something? I found that out through Sun Ra. You see? So, long story short, I get married. My wife and I took a trip to Italy. And they were showing us through Italy some of their ruins and the supposed history and so forth and so on. And I was feeling very bad because I didn't have anything to show the world as a Negro. Okay? Until the tour guide said on the wrong bus, said, and when the Romans went to Egypt to receive their civilization, I said, uh-oh, big light bulb illuminated inside of me. I said, my goodness, if these Europeans went to Egypt to receive their civilization, and I was told that I was descendant of the ancient Egyptians, then I should know something about it. Huh? So what I did, when I got back to America, I went and got me a magnifying glass and every pictorial book on ancient Egypt that I could find. And what I was looking for through my magnifying glass was to look at all of those depictions that's saying that these are ancient Egyptians. And I wanted to find out whether these depictions look like me and look like you. And once I was convinced of that, that's where I started my study. Now, let's move on, okay? If you want to clap, it's okay. So, then I began to look for any book or books that had history attached to it. Any book. You know, I was just like a fiend. And books was coming everywhere. Because, well, see, your mind is very, very powerful. Okay? Whatever you put up here that you want to attract in your life, it'll come. Because like attracts like. You see?